the way, guys, for you guys talking about the Diddy case, I already said this. It's a show trial. That's why I didn't cover it. It's so clearly a show trial. We didn't get Christina Karam. We didn't get Lucien Grange. We didn't get the Universal execs. If you read through Little Rod's lawsuits, Diddy was not at the top of the ring, okay? And it sounded like it was a Fed operation. And so it was a show trial because the Feds are never going to reveal the Feds that are in control of an operation. And the minute that they did not bring Christina Karam, the involvement that this woman have, apparently it's like having a Jeffrey Epstein trial and not like a public Jeffrey Epstein trial and not mentioning or bringing up Ghislaine Maxwell. Like, that's how you know it was a show trial. So this whole fake, oh my God, I can't believe we got away with it. Of course you got away with it. This was a Fed operation. That is my viewpoint. I am never going to change it. I think he's the Jeffrey Epstein of the hip hop world. He was doing what he was supposed to do and what he was told to do. And we're never going to get any information because now everyone's gotten their show trial and there are people in the streets that are pouring baby oil on top of themselves. I'm not kidding. His fans and supporters, as a show of support, it's disgusting. I'm laughing at just the state of humanity today, and I'm maybe asking for a reset. We just need to reset on humanity, just kind of back to the factory settings here, because women are in the streets throwing baby oil on themselves, excited that he is found not guilty on the bigger charges, on the two biggest charges. And so he's kneeling and it's just, that's what a show trial is. It's meant to make everybody feel like justice has been served, or at least justice was attempted to be served. We did the right thing. We got a jury of his peers and they came back and decided he wasn't guilty. And then the feds keep doing what the feds do. I still believe that it is a drug operation. I believe that guy who was one of Diddy's sex slaves who said that that's what it was, that these rappers are giving money, the feds are giving it to them, they're giving these claims, they move drugs, and they collect blackmail. So I'm not interested in show trials. I'm not interested in pretending that this was a real trial. That's my final point on that.
My God, I don't think you guys are going to believe it. The verdict is officially in. They have just read it. And remember, Diddy is being charged with 5 separate counts. In the matter of U.S. versus Combs, count 1, which was racketeering conspiracy, he was found not guilty. Count 2, which was ex-trafficking of Cassandra Ventura, he was found not guilty. Count 3, transportation to engage in prostitution with Cassie, he was found guilty. Count 4, as trafficking of Jane, he was found not guilty. Count 5, transportation to engage in prostitution with Jane, guilty. With Diddy only being found guilty on the 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, he only faces a sentence of up to 10 years. After the judge thanked the jurors, he said, "You guys can go back to the jury room. I will thank you personally. I just need to speak to the lawyers." The jury left, and Mark Agnifilo, who is Diddy's attorney, says to him, he is no longer charged with trafficking or racketeering. His plane has been chartered. It's in Maui. He does not have access to his plane. This is his first conviction, and it is a prostitution offense. He should be released. He continues, his family is here and could sign a bond. He should be released today to go back and live at 2-Star Island. The judge responds saying, "This is just coming up right now. I will hear from the government in a moment. Are you proposing he just walk outside right now?" Mark Agnifilo said, "Yes."
Are you happy with the verdict, guys? Are you happy with the verdict? Are you happy with the verdict, guys?
When the verdict was read, Combs got down on his knees and he began to pray. His children clapping, everyone overcome with emotion on his defense team. Even one of his attorneys, Tony Garagos, starting to cry. When the verdict was read, Combs got down on his knees and he began to pray. His children clapping, everyone overcome with emotion on his defense team. Even one of his attorneys, Tony Garagos, starting to cry.
Damn, he must have Epstein-level blackmail on the judges and politicians. Exactly. America is actually paid to win. Yes, it is. It is definitely paid to win. Also, y'all, another thing that came to my mind is, what message, what is Diddy trying to tell us about religion? Because it's very cult-like, right? It's very religion-like. He got on his knees and he began to pray. Okay. What does that tell you about religion? I keep trying to tell y'all about this religion thing. What does that tell you when it is this caliber of people, mainly criminals, that are housed within religion? You see, the first thing he did was pray. The first thing he did was pray, right? So what does that tell you about your religion, your religious institutions? Yet again, right? Posted in the shorts section, in my shorts section. Get caught up on the shorts if you haven't. I post a lot of updates on the community section as well. Don't forget to smash that like button for me. Okay. Love you so much. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button for me as well. And the notification bell so you don't miss a podcast every time that it comes out. Okay. Also, links are below in the description. The Patreon is now up. Take free newsletters. You can sign up for those at our website, link below as well. All the other socials are also linked below. So let's go ahead and dive into this whole situation, okay? Because it's totally insane. It's totally crazy.
Comes to Diddy's verdict being rendered, I see a lot of people attacking Cassie Ventura. Let me make myself very clear. What you guys have to understand is Cassie Ventura did not bring this case against Diddy. It was the United States of America versus Sean Combs. After seeing how so many people are reacting and are saying horrendous things about Cassie or any of the other people that testified against Diddy, what you have to understand, whether Diddy's verdict was not guilty on the major charges or not, that does not excuse the behavior that we have seen with our own eyes. Just because he got a not guilty verdict doesn't make him a great person. No matter what verdict was rendered, you guys have to understand either way, we saw Cassie Ventura violently being beat. Period. Multiple different times. People can literally have opinions about the verdict without actually going after women that suffered horrible abuse. I see a lot of people breaking up the fact that Cassie filed that lawsuit against Diddy, but it was also Diddy who was ready to settle it within 24 hours. Remember, that civil lawsuit that Cassie Ventura filed mirrored almost everything that she detailed in her testimony in this criminal trial. Cassie got on that stand, they asked her, "Why are you here and why are you testifying?" And she said because she believed it was the right thing to do by telling the truth. She went into this trial not wanting to testify under a pseudonym, ready to use her full name and detail the most horrific details and trauma that she lived through in her life. And let me be very clear, when Cassie was on the stand, she didn't sugarcoat anything. She said even the things that she participated in was wrong. This woman even testified that after all of the trauma, after she had her own children, the most joyous part of your life, she still was about to take her own life. A lot of people need to understand, yes, Diddy might have got the verdict that a lot of people were hoping that he wouldn't have got.
Hello, let me somebody come my son. Hey, my loves, how are you doing today? So I'm back with another video, podcast. So y'all, it's crazy. We heard the verdict yesterday. Apparently he was only found guilty on 2 counts, out of 4 or 5. And we're talking about Dusty Diddy. And I don't agree with Candace Owens on a lot of things, but on this, I 1000% agree with her on. That's why I didn't waste my energy on it. As time went on, I could see and kind of reason through the fact that like this whole thing is fake because Diddy is a degenerate, right? A complete monster from what I can see. But he's nowhere even close to the top of the ladder. And for him to get away with all of this for 20, 30 years, all these years, and for us to sit here believing that he did that on his own without the leaders, without the whole system, the whole justice system, the feds backing him is actually quite idiotic and insane. The feds are all in it. I'm telling you, there have been books written on this that will tell you or reveal to you the truth. The system, the government, the feds, they're all in this sort of, it's like a mafia operation. I think this was some type of like humiliation ritual. I've seen a lot of people say that too, and I agree, for just basically punishing Diddy, maybe some things that he did that they didn't like. So they used him for that. That's why it was so entertainment based, right? And it was kind of entertaining, but it was also obvious that none of it was real. You know, like the only thing they have to hold on to are those from the older generations, and they still have not been able to connect their manipulative gaslighting nonsense to the younger generations, millennials and up, right? So they're struggling with this. And I think that this whole thing was a part of an operation to try to figure out maybe how to do that. Right? And we all know the justice system's a joke anyway. Across the world, it's a joke. All of the countries work with each other to create these facades, to create these lies so they can make more money. They're all into trafficking. They're all into S work. I mean, they are the ones, these countries, the wealthy, they're the ones that spend the most money on it, right? So I think that's another operation that they're trying to work on, is trying to put women back into slavery. And the first step in them trying to do that is discrediting the voices of women. I don't think that that's going to work either, because more and more women are just not, it's not even like we're violent, right? We're just not dealing with males. Why? Simply because it just doesn't make sense. I mean, unless he's a one percenter, it's just not going to make sense. I mean, we're happier without it. It's illogical. You're going to purposely put yourself in a situation where you're just not as happy. For what purpose? Unless he's a one percenter, there's no point in doing that. So they never account for evolution, like I always say, and that is their biggest pitfall. That's their biggest downfall, right? Nah, money was paid and the world is in shambles. Yup. It's been in shambles. It's just now more and more people are waking up, and the younger generations, the newer generations are like, no, no thanks, right? This is insane, right? Still not good enough. Shame on the jurors and the justice system, you know? So we got traumatized by this case for nothing. Exactly. They're trying to regain control, I guess. I mean, and they wanted to get all the videos, all the proof that Diddy had in his possession. They needed to get their hands on those, right? And they wanted to punish him, humiliate him at the same time. I wouldn't be surprised also if maybe they were even testing him to a certain extent to see if he would spill or if he would say names, you know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of things that they're trying to do with this show, I would say, you know? Yep, exactly. What the actual F? Yep. The victims must feel so robbed of justice. Yeah, just such a thing does not exist. And I mean, I think the biggest lesson here, especially for women, is look, the whole thing is fake. I've been telling you all this. I've been saying this for a few years now. I've made lives, for example. I titled those lives "Police is an Illusion." Look, none of it is real. You are not protected. There is no justice. None of that. Okay. None of that. So you have to look out for yourself. And one of the best ways to do that is to not entertain the male species. Don't follow societal standards and norms. You can't do that unless you want to end up wasting your life and being miserable. Don't follow that. Don't get married and get yourself trapped in a box living with your own apex predator. It does not make sense, right? You can have a roster, right? After you've evaluated them and get them tested each time, you know, because you'll have to do that. They're walking diseases. But don't follow societal standards and norms, because those were put in place by the wealthy in order to control you, and you will lose your whole life, live a miserable life following that nonsense. Okay. The fact that all 12 of them saw the videos, read all those transcripts, heard the testimonials, and they were still confused about terms and definitions for the crimes involved, that's completely ridiculous. Yeah. working. You can't fool these kids. These kids don't even want to work your 8 to 5 anymore. Most of them are getting smarter. They're doing contracting jobs, right? Part-time roles. They're combining it all together so they can have enough to just live a happy life and not have to be stuck in the 8 to 5, right? And they're trying to box these kids back in. That's what they're trying to do. Okay. The world is evil. Very, very, very evil. It's one of the reasons why I'm starting to lean towards no kids, because I don't know. I think I would be just ridden with guilt for bringing a child into this, knowing exactly what the truth about this is. That's why the only exception I give is like, do you have assets? Do you have at least 2 homes that you can pass down to the kiddo? Right. But it's a big decision, because if you have that kiddo might go on to have more kiddos. And then your generations are stuck here, in an evil world. Right? Something to think about. This is why survivors do not speak out. Exactly. This is exactly why they don't. I never want to hear another peep out of, why didn't you say anything, people? The courts don't care about victims. Yeah, the system doesn't care about victims. The courts doesn't care about victims. They just don't care. The whole thing's a facade. Did we not see him beat up Cassie? Exactly. The fact that the jury had 8 males says it all, to be honest. Exactly. 8 males, 4 women jury was a terrible setup. These males basically are showing they themselves don't know where the line begins and ends between consent and coercion. That's scary. No, they know. They just don't care. Okay, women we need to get that right. You need to get that right, get that embedded in your brain. They know. They just don't care. Okay. All right. This is beyond corrupt. I'm so disgusted. Money reigns supreme. These poor women. This world is so broken. Yep, it's done for. The world is done for. So you got to figure out how you want to live your life without letting society dictate that for you. That means no religion, no nothing. You got to figure out, okay, how do I want to set this up? What do I want to do? The difference between R. Kelly and Diddy is that R. Kelly ran out of money to keep people quiet. That's why R. Kelly was found guilty. All those involved, like Jay-Z, are using money to keep victims quiet. Exactly. Now, I think Diddy ran out of money a long time ago as well. But I think the main difference is who's backing them. I think R. Kelly didn't have enough backing. I think Diddy was and is still liked by all of the wealthier people. And so the wealthier people, while they wanted to make an example out of him, they wanted to punish him, they wanted to get all the videos that he had accumulated back from him, they still like the freak offs. As soon as he gets out of jail, guess what he's going to go back to doing? His job. He's going to go back to doing the freak offs, right? So, they are the ones, I think, funding this whole expedition. They are the wallets behind it. Okay. That's what I think is actually going on. America is horrible for this. Yep. The rest of the world is too.